everybody, and welcome to NBL Overtime. Week 5 is in the books. Sellouts, New Zealand, Adelaide, Melbourne. Perth Wildcats keep doing what they did, but so do the Brisbane Bullets, and have kind of complicated things. The Sydney Kings finally got beaten. Melbourne United fought back after Liam Santamaria said last week they cannot make the playoffs. To get involved anytime you like, hashtag NBL Overtime, hashtag See Incredible, and of course it's racing week. So our main man, Corey Homicide Williams, has donned some racing silks in for this show. We've got a very special guest as well. We'll get to it in a matter of seconds. How you doing, big fella?
I'm doing good. You know, I've been inspired by the races. I'll be going this weekend, so I just had to put on a little bit of, you know, racing apparel.
Don't worry about that, man. I'll mix you up with Damien Oliver. You roll on the track in that shirt. Liam Santamaria, hello to you.
I'm hello, and I'm feeling pretty good. Followed your tips today, Cam, and you were on an absolute heater.
It was a nice day.
And my whole family is very happy as a result.
Big shout out to the people who I told I was going to tip all 10 winners and only got 9, so it's a little disappointing, but it is fun. A man who's had a great start to his first ever year in the NBL. Huge game last night. They're 6-1. The Kings are flying. Our special guest is Jae'Sean Tate. How you doing, big fella?
I'm good, man. Glad to be here. You know, first time getting on, meeting you guys, and looking forward to it.
Let's start with the big game. Of course, that rivalry, Sydney-Melbourne, and you boys coming in at 6-0. Melbourne had found a little bit of form in the throwdown win, and you got a nice little front row seat to the rivalry as you have a look at some of the highlights. This was a cracking game. How much did you love being a part of it?
Oh, I love the energy in the arena, especially because, you know, it was Casper's homecoming, and I think he played well, and it came down to the wire. That's the competition you won, and, you know, credit to them. They got the job done.
As Cam says, the atmosphere last night was absolutely incredible. It was a cauldron in Melbourne Arena. Felt like a grand final series type of game. What did you guys learn about yourselves from that first loss?
I think that we learned that we can be a pretty composed team. I feel like that.
Does that apply to your coach as well?
Yeah, like, you know, I feel like that after last night, we had a sense of togetherness coming back in the locker room, you know, going down, losing your head coach in the first half and going in there and being as close as it was. I think that we showed how close we can be and how good we can be this year.
As far as the NBL is concerned, obviously this is your second year as a pro, right? But how do you rank this league? How do you rate the competition in this league?
I think it's one of the best leagues in the world, honestly. Just being able to play in different countries all around Europe and, you know, obviously the NBA. But as far as, like, talent-wise and competitiveness, I think this is one of the most competitive leagues.
Jae'Sean, we alluded to what happened with Will last night. Let's talk about it. Talk us through what happened from your perspective, what you saw, how it felt, whether or not you expected that kind of thing from him, and then how it impacts the team moving forward. I
definitely would say that if anybody knows Will, he's a really passionate coach, but I didn't expect him to back us like that. But anytime you have a coach that is ready to go to war for their players, like, you got to get behind that. You know, I just thought it was a physical game, and you know, I think the refs do a great job of, you know, trying to do the best they can. And, you know, we have to adjust on the fly to that. So other than that, I think it was just a lot of buildup of some calls that could have went 50-50. But I'm glad that he showed that he's able to get it behind us. And I love playing for that man. And
just on at halftime, so he was ejected. So you go into the locker room. Was he composed or was he still fired up? How was the halftime address?
He was pretty composed. I think it was just like a little, you know, quick switch. But, you know, I think that's what we needed to go back into the second half. Like, that brought us together even more, knowing that we're going to have to be even tighter. And, you know, ultimately we could have done some things better in the fourth quarter, but, you know, credit to them. We'll see them again coming up, so.
I got nothing for now. Y'all keep going.
Whatever
I got nothing for right now.
Well, whatever you got, lead with it.
All right. You're from born in Toledo, right?
Yes,
born and raised in Columbus.
Yes, Columbus, Ohio.
You played football growing up?
I did.
Was it a goal to play football or basketball? Like, what made you make that decision to go to basketball?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough one. I felt like basketball was my first love, and it's always good when you can play in the air-conditioned or heated gym. So that definitely was a factor. But, you know, I just felt that I just love the competitiveness of basketball, man. Like, of course, football is a competitive sport, but it's just something about being on the hardwood and, you know, under the lights, man, and I love it.
What made you choose Ohio State? Was that like your dream school? This is the school I want to go to.
Yeah, definitely. My dad went there. He played there. So my high school coach, he was a coach there. He played there. So it kind of like runs through our blood, and I just wanted to keep that going. I'm the oldest in my family, first sibling. So yeah, I just wanted to keep it going. It's been my dream school since growing up. So it really came down to Ohio State or Michigan. Because Michigan is like 30 minutes from Toledo, which is where, you know, home base is really. So at the end of the day, I went with Ohio State.
Let's talk about the relationships and the brotherhood.
Yeah.
The family ties that run deep at Ohio State. Some of your teammates, former teammates, guys that played before you.
Ohio State is, like you said, it's a brotherhood. I mean, that's home base for, I mean, basically all the greats. You got Michael Redd still there. You got Greg Oden, Evan Turner, Jared Sullinger, D'Angelo Russell, Kata Bates, Aaron Craft. It's the open gyms in the summer are amazing.
Oh,
and
goodness.
I feel like it just takes our game. It helps us just learning from all of them. I forgot Mike Conley. So just being able to learn from those guys who've had so much success in their career, it's been great.
Let's bring it back to the NBL and also the NBA. I mean, that's your goal to get to there in the near future.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm told that you turned down bigger money offers back in Europe to come and play for the Kings this year. Talk us through that decision and then where you want to get to next and how you need to get there.
Yeah, definitely. The NBL, just the growth that it's had over the past, you know, few years, and you got players like Torrey Craig, who played here and who's now with the Denver Nuggets. And just there's a whole scouting agency here, you know, with the Rising Stars. There's so many eyes on the NBL, and I wanted to be a part of that. I think the next step for me is, you know, just to continue to become a better, improved shot maker from the three and free throws. I think our whole team needs to improve on that. But and just to learn the game. The reason I really wanted to be with the Kings is because I got to learn from, you know, great players like Bogues and Casper and Kevin Lish. So I'm able to learn from veteran players, and, you know, Will Weaver's a great coach too.
We've got vision here. We just saw some vision of your game in Adelaide the other night, and this is from last night. As we said, it was an incredible atmosphere. Apart from Sydney, I don't want you to talk about your fans, which you know you love, but what's been your favourite atmosphere? Because these Adelaide fans get nuts. Were you blowing kisses to the fans or across the lane?
Adelaide, they definitely got into it. It was very chippy from the beginning, and I mean, I love it.
You love it?
Yeah, I feed into it.
You want to hear from the fans?
Yeah, I love it. I can take it, and all it does is boost my game, and I think it boosts our team's game. So I heard about Perth. Looking forward to that.
You just said you want to hear from the fans. Okay.
You need some advice about getting taunted by Red Army. Just come straight to this man.
Oh, man.
What were they saying last night? Melbourne front row chatter a bit.
Yeah, they chatter, but I was pretty locked in. I kind of sat on the coaches end, so I didn't get much. Adelaide, they were letting me have it a lot, but yeah, I think you have to ask Bogues. So
Bogues had some good chatter last night. He told one guy on the baseline last night who was giving it to Bogues. He was not a tall man, the guy, and Bogues told him, "Say, mate, sit down. My 3-year-old's taller than you."
Tell you what, I hope that wasn't Brian Lara. Before I let you go, in comparisons to Draymond Green, or the way that you play your game here in the NBL early couple of weeks, that's someone you do model your game on?
Yeah, definitely. I actually reached out to him, and looking forward to working with him after this offseason. He said he'd be willing to, you know, teach me, and, you know, since D'Angelo Russell is a close friend of mine with the Warriors, so I'm definitely trying to learn from him and you know, take the path he did.
Man, we appreciate you coming in. We're about to, well, these two are about to have a spirited conversation about the best centre in the NBL, Long v Bogut, but we won't include you in that because you might be somewhat biased. But great start for the Kings,
Love
6-1.
man.
Huge weekend this weekend, man.
Real shit.
And we're loving your stuff, man, and we appreciate you jumping in. Make sure you come back again soon.
Yes, thanks for having me.
All right, now, before we get to that discussion, yes or no, not too far away, and of course, Santa's watching, the top 10 plays of the week, all thanks to LD Mobile. Take it away.
Round 5 is done. Let's have some fun at your LD Mobile NBL Top 10. At number 10, watch this closely as the Perth defenders stay with Nathan Sobey, leaving Taylor Braun lost in the morass like a mouse in monkey grass before cutting to the hole with Soul off the handy pick and roll. That's good for number 10. On to number 9, and John Robertson showing us why he's a pro as he somehow gets this horizontal circus shot to go. It's Tricks from the Phoenix at number 9, and don't try this one at home. At 8, Tom Abercrombie of New Zealand sends Majok Dang reeling. There'll be no rim shakers against these breakers. You gotta be a big man to stop that dang slam at number 8. The Kings get in at number 7 as Didi Lozada leads the break, and Jae'Sean Tate really wants the oop because he knows he's bringing the truth. Jae'Sean with more hang time than the Mona Lisa on this crowd pleaser at number 7. We're at number 6 where LaMelo Ball makes a nice cut, but Will Magnay says no way. The big baller better fly taller against Brisbane's shot Mahler. That's in at number 6. On to number 5, tie game late in the 4th quarter, and I got a point of order. Do not leave Tarico White alone or he'll send your team home. White buries the triple to cripple the Breakers at number 5. At number 4, it's Magic Bogut working beyond the high post, and that means the defense is toast. Behind the back to Casper at the rack, and that's in at number 4. On to number 3, and man, DJ better play another track because that shot got smacked. Sek Henry getting in with the D, flattening Nubel's rim spree at number 3. At number 2, it's Dario Hunt coming through, rising so high in the lane it looks like a video game as he delivers the pain on this air raid. Dario Hunt flying high at number 2. But at number 1, we're in OT, so how can you leave the MVP free? Andrew Bogut with a little momentum sends Eric Griffin to another dimension. Bogut with the flex because he knows he's the best, landed at number 1 on the NBL.
Well, thanks to LD Mobile. That's the top 10. You can find them if you missed any of it or want to see it again at NBL on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. And, of course, the play of the week there was Andrew Bogut, the big dunk in overtime against the 36ers. And last night, of course, the Melbourne-Sydney game, it was Long v Bogut, a conversation that you continue to push about who the best centre in the league is. And I'm not going to tell you which one I bumped into late last night after the game, but he said, you know what, man, I'm just doing my thing. Don't try and talk up who the best centre in NBL is on the show this week. So now we're going to talk right into it.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you go first.
I'm not going to go first.
You want Ryder reply?
I'll let Liam go.
Liam Santamaria, where do we sit?
Right here at the desk, where we keep it a buck.
Do not.
Where we keep it 100 on this desk.
First and foremost, thank you, Liam, for clarifying that.
I was at the game last night. Wasn't listening to the call. But I did go home and watch the 4th quarter again because it was an absolute cracking game. And when I did, I heard Corey finish the broadcast loud and proud about Sean Long being the best centre in the NBL. And I feel like we need to talk about it.
Let's do it.
That's why we're here.
Because he's not quite there yet. But wow, he was super impressive this weekend. He was the best player in the league this week. And with 31 and 12 on South East Melbourne, and the numbers are ridiculous. Leads the league in scoring, leads the league in rebounding. His team's got a losing record. His team had a losing record last year. His team has a losing record this year because for the first month of the season, they were trading buckets with their opponent, and that's not how you win. Bogut, on the other hand, when his team went 18 and 10 in the regular season last year, got bounced in the playoffs, but they're 6-1 right now. This is a man who anchors the best team in the league. And Corey, as I was watching it last night, it made me think, there's a bit about you. There's a bit about you that reminds me of a little kid.
Okay.
Now, I'm with all due respect.
I'm listening.
And I'll tell you why.
All due respect, normally followed by a whack.
Because little kids get all excited about the latest thing. The shiniest, newest toy, the fad. You came into pre-season and told us Scotty Hobson was the best player in the league before he played in the NBL. Now, shout out to Scotty Hobson. We hope he gets better really quickly. Bryce Cotton, Andrew Bogut, Casper Ware, Sean Long. These are the guys that are the best players in the league because you've got to appreciate some body of work. Now, Sean Long's numbers are incredible. That's terrific. But this is not fantasy. This is reality. There's more to the game than just getting numbers. And he knows that, and he showed it this weekend. And if he continues to play like that at both ends of the floor, like he took a big leap this week at the defensive end, then he will elevate himself into that conversation. But right now, the bogeyman is the best centre in the league.
It was a Studs and Duds column last year that actually got you blocked on Twitter by Sean Long. And I thought after I read your article today, I thought he might have unblocked you, but you went around and around and around.
Sean
You
Long.
butted him up, and you still think Bogut's number one?
Yes, sir.
Yo, Andrew Bogut can't hold Sean Long's jockstrap.
Oh, come on,
Yeah,
man.
come on, man.
Come
Andrew
on, man.
Bogut.
Come on.
What was the numbers last night?
He got his ass beat last
All right,
night.
then. It's not like I just said this yesterday. I said this last year, the second half of last season. I said, this is the best center in the league. What was his numbers the second half of last season?
The numbers are great.
All right, then. Did I say this? Did I just started saying it now?
Yeah, but at the end of last year, you also said that Bogut's never been in better form when he went back to the NBA.
That has nothing to do with him being able to stop. It's better than Sean Long. He wasn't great form. I'm not taking nothing away from his form when he left the league, but he can't guard Sean Long. Sean Long is better. He can do way more. Bogut, IQ through the roof. We know this. Great passer. We know this. Plays defense. He don't have offense like Sean Long. You need a bucket.
No, he
You're
doesn't.
not going to Andrew Bogut
Not
to
in
get
the
you a
same
bucket.
way.
You're not doing that. He plays defense. That's it. Stop hyping everything else.
No, that's
he plays
that's
defense
not
and
it.
passes the ball.
Let me
That's
ask you
it.
this. Let me
Did he
ask you
win in
this.
this league?
No, not this
Okay,
week.
then. What happened when he
Hold
was in
on.
the playoffs last year?
You want to talk about winning? Last
He
night,
didn't average a double-double in the playoffs last year and got swept.
Sean Long's team wasn't in the playoffs.
Okay, so they're even. They're even. So I'm going off head-to-head. He can't. Every game, Sean Long killed him. Every game. Not as bad as he did yesterday, but he outplayed Bogut every game. Let's look at film. Let's look back from last year. Let's do that.
But you've got
somebody break up the film from every game they played each other. 6 or 7 games. Ever since they matched up, you tell me who's better.
But week after week after week in the NBL, you don't just play the same team. You play all the other teams as well. And what you do in those games matters. Andrew Bogut's win-loss record in the NBL is 24-13.
What he averaged in the
including
playoffs? What he averaged in the playoffs?
He was there, but he was involved.
What he averaged in the playoffs?
Sean Long's win-loss record
Not
in
even
the
a
NBL
double-double.
is 15-20.
Yeah, okay, that's
now,
cool.
I love Sean Long. I love that he's in the league because he's.
You just don't want to say it because Bogut gonna DM you or call you.
No.
Bogut got y'all shook. I know the vibes.
No.
I know the vibes.
That's all right.
But Sean Long is better than Bogut. We saw it yesterday. Ain't even no more debate.
Is Bogut the second best center in the league?
Yep.
Hashtag...
And he got trouble with Daniel Johnson. Let's not go there.
Hang on. Is he second or not?
He's second.
Hold on.
But he got trouble guarding Daniel Johnson.
Yeah,
every time Daniel Johnson give him work.
On the weekend.
Shout out to Daniel Johnson.
Shout
Shout out to Angus Brandt.
Those guys do work.
Okay.
In Italy.
Corey Webster.
Oh, hang on.
Against the Wildcats. Had 21, 6, and 6. Bryce Cotton had 4 points with 7 assists.
Bryce Cotton is a 2-time champion and a former MVP of the league. That's not even a
But
comparison.
Corey Webster busted his ass.
Hashtag
That's
NBL
not a
Overtime to
comparison.
get
Well, then you can't
involved.
make the same
I could make the comparison.
elsewhere.
You're talking
Hashtag-
about one game.
Hashtag NBL Overtime to
7
get
games.
involved.
What's good here is good there.
Let's get to the Brisbane Bullets, who had a really
agree to
good
disagree.
weekend and had been a fair bit of conversation. We'll continue this in a little bit later on. But there's been a decent conversation around the Brisbane Bullets and the fact that should they make a change, Andre Lamanis, of course, was very, very firm on the fact that they're going in the right direction. Did they impress you on the weekend?
I was impressed. I was impressed with the shooting of Jae'Sean Tate.
He was great.
I was impressed with Taylor Braun. I was impressed with the other import, E.J. Singler. They did a really good job. That's what was missing. That's why they were losing in the manner that they were losing. Cam Glidden, I don't know where he is. He's been stinking it up. He might as well come put. If he gonna continue to play like that, you might as well put on some nice looking clothes and sit down next to us, because you ain't show up all year. But with all of that said, with those other guys stepping up like they did, they look good.
Talk a little bit more about Jae'Sean Tate.
Look, like I said, he shot the ball really well and he scored. See, what you have to understand is, I don't dislike nobody. Play ball. If you show up, I give you props. You don't show up, I keep it real. That's it. This ain't personal to me. I got to know you personally to take things personal. I don't know him. I call it as it is. If you get swept and you have 2 donuts as a starting point guard, that ain't good. But when you come today and you played the way you did this weekend, I give you your props. Way to hoop.
Props to Will Magnay, too, for that block.
Are you going to really start to push Two-Way Magnay as his nickname?
Two-Way Magnay.
From the first time I saw this guy play, I said it. You guys laughed at me. You guys laughed. When we were in... Where were we when we saw him play?
We've seen him play the NBL 1 All-Star team.
Okay, what is he doing every time he plays with every other NBL team?
He's going great. I don't think he's at two-way level just yet, but he has been impressive.
I mean, that's your opinion. I'm cool with that.
Cannot argue.
Love to see him at Summer League in the next year or two. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Perth Wildcats. So you got something on Brisbane quickly?
I was impressed with them. It was a great win over the Wildcats. They needed to step up defensively. Hats off, I wrote this today, Studs and Duds, hats off to Andre Lamanis for having the kahunas to make that move with his starting lineup and insert Mika Vukona and put Cam Glidden on the bench. He didn't just let him stay out there just on reputation. He said you need to bring a little bit more than what you've been doing. And Mika provided a good presence for them at the defensive end. And now they look much more balanced at the start of games. They've got a genuine 4. Everyone slides down a spot, Patterson, Taylor Braun, and then they can play out of position, slide up and down the lineup from there as the game unravels.
This game, we just seen the Wildcats and the Bullets, and of course the game against New Zealand last week, where Scotty Hobson is still on the sidelines and hopefully going to be back in a week or two. But is Tariko White the most underrated import in recent times? He's a finals MVP, and he continues to stand up in big moments.
He's not underrated.
Yeah, who's underrating him?
Well, I don't think lower profile.
Because I think Dario Hunt's one of the most underrated imports in this league right now.
Had a great weekend as well. What do you make of the Wildcats then?
They are who they are.
They are who they are.
So you're not worried? No, I'm not concerned, but no
not
concern.
Not a worry at all. No concern at all.
No, it was a little misstep. Don't worry about that at all.
All right. Hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved.
But he is super clutch. Hey, can I talk about that possession real quick?
Please.
Yep. Bryce Colton was 0 of 5 from 3 and had 4 points. Couldn't buy a basket throughout that game. I love in that moment, despite how incredibly clutch he is, he just said, "You go ahead. I'm a space out. This is your time to win this ball game." And we don't usually see that happen where Tariko has the ball on the bounce for a game winner. They play off Bryce. Double team me, I'll find my guy. This one, he said, "You know what? You're flowing. I'm not. I'll get to the corner. You win the game."
That's trust. That's camaraderie. And that's unbelievable. That's chemistry happening as we see it. Game in, game out. You're starting to see a lot of them connecting where Bryce is making plays happen, getting Tariko more involved. And that happens when you are finals MVP and we know we can believe in you. You know what I'm saying? So you're seeing it. And he's been terrific. Tariko, terrific. White.
There's 2 nicknames you've just given in the last 5 minutes. Liam Santamaria doesn't miss a beat. NBL.com.au. Studs and Duds released today. And, of course, it leads us each and every week to Santa's watching.
I was watching.
Good. Far away.
And so was everyone else because it was crazy. RJ Hampton. I like this camera work. Look at this. Oh. Whoa. And Mika getting a little pose on during the stretching. I like this. RJ Hampton, wild pass into the Perth Wildcats bench. Mate, your hands were not slippery on that pass. Come on, mate. And Mello was getting assists from all his teammates this weekend. Had a little help to throw it down, and then with the blood rule, had to dack himself right there in the middle of Melbourne Arena. Sam McDaniel handed him over. Jae'Sean was showing the love in Adelaide, of course. Dylan Alcott.
Dylan.
Bang. Has the stroke. And how about Sean Bruce and family? This from Cam Bruce I liked on social media. He said, "I'm pretty sure this is what the free cheeseburgers is all about, isn't it?" And he collected the free cheeseburger and you gave it to somebody who was in need of a feed. So shout out to the Bruce family. Sean doing great things on the floor and Cam holding it down off it.
Hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved, or fire at Liam_Santa. Is that your Twitter name or Instagram name as well? If you see anything, just in case
help me out.
Liam Santa Maria might miss it. All right, yes or no time. We're going to leave a little bit of end for a conversation around something that is continuing to bubble around. We're going to start with you. Is playing without Aaron Brooks, or at least that import two guard, helping LaMelo Ball in his draft stocks?
No.
Would you start Jason Kidd over Cam Glidden?
No.
Is Sean Bruce, who we just seen Cam Bruce there, is Sean Bruce right now the leading contender for the Sixth Man of the Year?
Yes.
He was brilliant last. I'm not sure he's officially Sixth Man, but does he have to be the first off the bench? How does that work? That's not yes or no.
You don't have to be first off the bench. No, you have to play the majority of your games off the bench.
Yes, which he will. Will Josh Green, who's about to make his collegiate debut, will he make the Boomers squad?
Does maybe work?
No. It's not yes, no, or maybe. What more? Can I be in a clear-cut homicide? What more do I have to do around here?
Actually, you know what? Yes, you said squad, not
squad.
team.
I said squad. Said squad, not team. Will Adelaide make the playoffs?
That's a sneaky team. They could probably get in.
Probably.
That's like you, right?
My bad.
Yes, no, maybe, and probably.
Will Melbourne United?
Actually, can I take a moment?
Well, my bad. First of all, I'm sorry.
Hey,
my bad.
Yes or no?
I got to take it back.
We both got to take things back.
We got it back. We got it wrong.
We're both wrong.
So you're back on.
Wrong.
Well, you're not technically wrong yet.
I'm not technically wrong yet.
But I said that they would have been up 1 and 7.
Okay, yes, you were wrong. Okay, cool.
My bad,
all right,
guys.
well, hold it. Okay, yes.
I was wrong. Well, not technically yet,
Okay.
but that's a playoff team, and I jumped
Very
the gun. Give us a heads up on the yes or no question.
Now, this is
ahead of
perfect.
time.
Don't tell us.
I don't. Well,
So you get the real us.
yeah,
My
okay,
bad.
cool.
I was wrong.
Now, this isn't yes or no. We've only got a matter of moments, really. But the unsportsmanlike foul. Now, it raised its head again last night, late in the game. A lot of frustration, and a lot of it comes on social media from players, from fans, and people sitting in the stands. And then the players suggest they understand a little bit better, but it continues to be a contentious issue. Does it need tinkering?
You want to go first?
No.
It doesn't.
No to the
No,
question.
it doesn't need tinkering.
You happy with it?
Yep.
Yeah, I think yes. I like the rule. I really like the rule. And I think the players need to adjust. I think Andrew Bogut needs to adjust most of all. He's giving them away left, right and centre. But I'm going to piggyback on something Andrew Gaze was saying on the call last night. He was talking about spirit of the game, the morality of the game. I wouldn't mind the NBL adding a spirit of the game clause that takes out the play on the ball criteria in the final minute of a single-digit game. To allow us, like last night when Bogut missed the tip in and then he grabbed Barlow to stop the clock, extend the game, we might see, if he misses, we might see a game-winning shot or that level of excitement. I wouldn't mind that being in place.
See, I don't like it. Yet again, I've got to make... This is not a crack at the NBL officials. This is a FIBA rule that is officiated this way right across the world. So it is some frustration. I've no doubt it's frustration in a lot of other leagues as well. I just think it needs, and I'm looking at you, FIBA, I think it needs to be changed to a professional foul rather than an unsportsmanlike, because unsportsmanlike in my mind sounds like something untoward. And I don't disagree with what they're trying to promote, the flow of the game. The thing I don't like is that every time that one is almost about to be called, the referees go to the screen and have to watch it for what seems to be 3 or 4 minutes.
Changing the name doesn't change anything in terms of how it plays out on the court, though, does it?
Well, maybe a little bit, because I don't necessarily think... okay, well, you look at last night, look at the last 30 seconds. Technically, if you're down, you almost can't win. So for the last 150 years, since old Dr. James brought the game of basketball into our lives, the last 30 seconds, there was the occasional little tap on the arm without doing a great deal, and I get the frustration around that. But if you're down the last 30 seconds, you may as well just chop it up and go home, because unless you continue to miss foul shots...
I think
I just think it's taken a lot of the drama out of the game.
I think if you include spirit of the game, last minute, single-digit game only, and you take out... That spirit of the game takes out play on the ball, but you keep in that element that's heavy contact. So you can't just run a guy over.
Which is fine.
But you can just do that, stop the clock, shoot some free throws, because we want timeout, advance the ball, game-winning or tying shot opportunity on the next play.
It's taken drama out of the game. Now, quickly, I have forgotten something. The Ringer said that LaMelo Ball might be the most intriguing player in the NBA draft. RJ Hampton's continuing to get better. Scott Van Pelter spoke about him on SportsCenter. You're the #1 promoter in this country. Are you excited for your boys in 20 seconds or less? 19 seconds or less? 14 seconds or less?
That's the #1 pick in the draft.
Okay. Done and dusted?
I don't have enough time to go into what I want.
But that's it. That's all you want.
Next week.
I'll let you go. I'll let you start with it next week. Come on, give me some love, man. We're going to the races together this week, aren't we?
I'm not going with you no races.
Why not? You don't want some tips?
You left me 20 seconds to talk about what I wanted to talk about.
Race 9, number 2, Flemington Thursday. As sure as the Perth Wildcats making the playoffs. Until next week, we are and have been NBL Overtime.